Hello everyone, and thanks for stopping by to Scrap and Craft with Terry. Today we're going to do some tags with crisscross pockets and little journal cards. So we're going to go ahead and get started. If you like my video, I just ask that you give me a thumbs up and check out my other ones. Hope everyone is having a nice Saturday today. I had just a little bit of time, so I thought I'd pop on here and do a video for Monday. So this will be going out Monday. I thought it was a fun little project. We make pockets with the crisscross, the little crisscross pockets. So why not make a tag to look like it? So all I did was used some notebook paper, and I just cut my pieces just to do the little crisscross things. Hopefully you can see it because it's just white on white. And I'm going to put 5 pockets on each tag and then make this a tag shape. I have it round. I have this one rounded at the top. I think the one corner was rounded. But I'm going to make the tag shapes and then round the bottoms just like I do an ordinary tag. And then you can just stick them into a pocket in your journal. So that's what we're going to do. So the first one is kind of like all of the darker colors. So for whoever likes the darker colors, this come out really, really dark. It's not the brown that I thought it was going to be, but after I look at it, I don't mind it. And then it was double-sided. So whatever I was going to use this for, I didn't end up using it. So we're going to do this for our pocket. Now I want to be able to journal on the back of it. So I just cut another piece of paper, and we're just going to glue it on the back. And then that'll give us journal space on the back of our tag. So what's everyone doing today? It's such a pretty day outside. My hubby had to work today, so I thought I'd get some time in on my videos and then see what the rest of the day brings. I like it when I can get some videos done ahead of time, because you know there's always other stuff to do. Doesn't always work that way though. Okay, so that's going to be my background, or the back of my tag, the background for journaling. So before I add anything else, I'm going to go ahead and cut my tag shape, and then that'll just be what that looks like. So then you just turn it over and cut on the other side. Or if you have like a little pattern you can use, you can just do that. That's generally what I do. And then that's all we have to do. And then I'm going to round my bottom corners, and then we can ink everything. Of course, that's not going to round it. Let me see. Well, it just about did. Well, I kind of messed that corner up. I have found that maybe this part of it is getting a little dull or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try to cut it with some tin foil and see if that helps. Never helped on any of my stamps. I mean, not my stamps, my my circle punches. Never worked on them. But the other side doesn't show up very good because it's so dark, but we'll ink it anyway because the rest of it's inked. There we go. Now, oh dear, I'm going to have to round my corners off when I get done, but I should just be able to trim them with my scissors. Should have waited until it was all done, but sometimes if you do that, then the paper gets too heavy for your cutters. So then we're going to stack like this. Just make sure you have your edges lined up. And then when you get all done, if you have to, you can always, I think I have these backwards. This one goes this way. I thought that one looked a little sideways or a little odd. That one goes that way. Now, this might be hanging over just a little bit. Now, you don't have to have it completely even down here because we're going to have them edges covered. Just going to do something like this and something like this, and then end it off with a little short one, and it'll be like that. So how cool is that? I like it. I'm going to put this under here so I don't get glue all over my table. So now I have to make for sure that I have my edges lined up. I think I want to have to trim off my smaller edge instead of my big edge. So see, I would only have to trim off a little tiny bit. So I'm just going to glue down this side and across the bottom. Maybe, yeah, maybe that side. Maybe just a little tiny bit at the bottom. And then that probably I'll have to cut off. So let me get my edge lined up and my bottom. And you know, sometimes everything lines up before you glue it down, but then it doesn't line up afterwards. Or anyways, for me, that's how it works. So we have that like that. I think I might just go ahead and add a little glue to this edge right here. Okay, then we're just going to add this on. Once we have our square corners to work with, it's going to be a little bit easier. It's the only thing about rounding the corners before you put these on. You don't have that square edge to follow. And I'll just go ahead and glue up this side. And then all you do is just keep alternating them. And then just try to bring that down even, but at the same time, keep your side straight. You're going to notice your side more than you are the bottom, because the bottom we can trim off. Then we're going to put this one on. And this is a good way to use up your scraps. Very good scrap buster. And mass make. You can coordinate them to the design you're doing your journal or your folio in. But then if you just need extras to add in here and there, you would be able to just pull these out and stick them in. It will be something different. Let me see if I have to trim this off. Nope. So I need to stay even over here. But I also need to stay even at the bottom because of it being my outside pocket. There we go. So I think that looks pretty cool. So now we can just trim this off a little bit. Well, glue is still a little bit wet. And then we'll just trim these to our corners. Then we can just ink along here again. Now, if you don't like to ink, you don't have to ink. That's just your preference, whatever it is you want to do. So, now I have my tags. Now this one I already had made up, and this is not real heavy paper. It was like from an envelope. So I thought I would put this one in here. And then I made another one to go with it. Now some of these are just the printer weight paper. So some of them needed to be backed just to stabilize them a little bit. Some of them needed to be backed because they were printed double-sided. So I just went ahead and backed them. So I put 2 in the top. You can put 2 on this level if you want. I only did 1 for each other level. And you can put 2 in here because there's a lot of room in here for tags. And then we have this one. So these were all scraps from previous previous projects, and then one day I was just kind of messing around with some book page, and I stamped a tree stamp on this one, so I thought that one looked pretty cool. And we have all of these in here, and due to the backgrounds and the papers, they kind of all blend in together, but yeah, I think they all go good together. And then up here at the top, I'll have to get ribbon or lace or something out, or maybe I'll just do a little tab for the top. I'll do that when I get my second one done, because I'll have to make one for that one also. So then you have journal space on the back plus journal space on your little journal cards. So that's our first one. Then on our second one, seeing how it's fall, we'll do one for fall. Now this one was only single-sided, so I just inked the back of this one just to tame the white down a little bit. And so let's see. I think I'll leave these bottom corners and I'll try to round them all at the same time. So we're just going to, and then I'll cut my top angles too. We'll see how that works, if it works better. So they're gonna lay like this, and these are the different fall papers that I've been using. And then we just have a plain one. And then this, and like I say, these are just the leftover scraps. Of course, you know, you can just, if you're doing digitals, you can just print your papers and cut them out of that. You would be able to do a lot, or just scrapbooking paper. So that's how them are going to look. So again, just down this side, and we'll just go ahead and go down this one and across. Just trying to line the edges up. Now on the very bottom pocket, it's like just a little sliver, but I don't think I'm going to decorate the tag any other way. I don't think. If you wanted to add some kind of decoration to each level, you could. I don't really think that it would show too much, but it's however you want to finish your tag. You could put something up here at the top if you wanted. So I'll have to trim just a little off at the bottom and on the sides. And then our last one. See, this was double-sided. This one I had started to print and my ink ran out, and I think when I needed to print it again, I just printed over the back of it, because, you know, no sense wasting the paper. It is pretty pink. Now, it wouldn't matter what side you started your pockets on either. You just have to alternate them so you keep your pockets where they're not two of the same together. There's this one between this one and this one, and then the same here, there's this one between this one and this one. So if you put your first one down over here, then your second one, third one, fourth one, and then this one here, your fifth one would go this way. So it's just however you start your pockets. So you have to pay attention when you're cutting them to make sure that they're going in the right direction. Paper's kind of thick now and it's wet. So we'll let that sit for a second and we'll cut our tag top. And then we'll ink the back as well as the front. Now if you don't want the tag shape, you can just round your corners and make it like a journal card. Just depends on what you want. So we have journaling back here, as well as all of our little journal cards in our pockets. Now let's see if this one will cut it. I'm thinking maybe not. Might be just a little too thick. So if you can't cut it like that, all you have to do is set something on your paper and just draw around it. And then all you have to do is follow your lines and just cut your circle or your little rounded part there. See? So you don't have to have your circle punches. Okay, so now we can move this out of the way and move this out of the way. Now I have to grab some kind of toppers. All right, so now on this one, I just put a little piece of the same thing that was here. It was from the envelope. I figured as long as I backed the other ones, maybe I should just go ahead and back these, and then you have journal space. I think they look better with the backing on them. Now these, when I glued these on the square, I didn't even think to round my corners. Generally, I round my corners. This one was already rounded. Oh, I don't think I inked this one. Oh, I didn't ink any of these. Anyway, generally I will round my corners at the same time when I round the mat and the front part, but absent-mindedly I just glued them down. I don't know why. So, but you know, sometimes everything doesn't have to be exactly the same. So let me just finish rounding or inking these, and then I'll get my toppers. Okay, so luckily these were already cut out. So all I have to do is glue these on. So we're just going to put this one on here because like all of this stuff is blending in together. And this one I had pre-made for something because the top of it's glued. I don't know why it was glued like that though. But we're going to stick that on there. And then when it's in our pocket, we'll just be able to see all of this. And then this one just has little hearts on it. I don't know if you can see that or not. Oops. Let's find the camera over here. It has little hearts on it. And so that one goes good. That goes good with that paper. Maybe that was from the same thing, because this was scrapbook paper. So we have this one. And then we have this one. Then this one. And I don't think it matters the size. We have this one. And then this one had a little bit of blue in it, so I thought we would put some blue in one, because you can have all colors for fall. And then this one. So them are our tags. Okay, I just grabbed a little scrap. So we would have our pockets. And then you can just put your tag in your pocket. And you know, of course, this would be glued down. You can put your tag in your pocket. And then you can just take your tags out of your pockets and write on the tags and the write on your tag and your little journal cards. And I think that's a good addition. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and I hope everyone comes back to see me for my next video. And until then, everyone, enjoy the rest of your weekend and happy crafting. Bye for now.